Da, 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 da. So exciting. We're live.
Woohoo!
Yay! Hello, everybody. Let's see who we've got.
I'm not hearing anything. It says turn up the volume. Hang on.
Super duper.
There we go.
Nice.
Now
Say
I can say,
hi. Say hi. Let us know you're here.
yes, please.
Catherine, hey.
Hey, welcome. Welcome,
We've just
welcome.
been having a little dance just to get ourselves ready.
Yeah, and get over the whole streaming nightmare.
I know, because we were just trying to solve the whole YouTube business and failed again. So we
Yeah,
thought we'd have a dance
miserably.
instead.
Man. Oh, hello, Marcy. Hello, Emily.
Emily, don't forget to send us an email for your prize.
Yes. And
Hi,
hi, Barrett.
Barrett.
Hey, Janet.
Emma, hello. Yay,
Great to see you
yay.
all. Welcome to day 3. My
We
goodness, day
are
3
on the
already.
final
Woo-hoo.
day.
Yep.
It's
And
exciting
today
business.
we have cool things. So thank you. Hi, Richard. Thank you, everyone, for posting all these amazing pictures and videos.
Shall I share them?
Yeah, let's have a
I'm
look at
going to share them. So, oh, way up. They were
them.
absolutely
Hey,
amazing,
Alison.
actually. We got
Yeah,
loads on from yesterday, so that was
yeah,
really cool.
yeah. Really, really cool to see
So
that.
let's have a little look. Here we
Really
go.
cool behaviors.
Let me just move that so we can see everybody. I don't want anyone to feel left
Don't
out.
worry, Emily, if you have to leave early. Yeah.
We'll let you off.
By all means, send us an email a bit later.
That would
Don't
be
worry.
cool.
Yeah.
But you can
Hi,
see
Mars.
there's so much interesting
Trina.
behavior.
Oh, look at the doodle poodle dance.
I know.
I missed that one. That must have been more
It was
recent.
quite. Lorraine's here. Well done, Lorraine. Hi, Mark. Hi,
Hey!
Katrina. Hey, Alison. Richard. Everybody, brilliant. Fabulous. Yeah, that was quite a recent one. I just had a little trawl through just before we came on and
Excellent.
added
Yes.
some extras I've had to make all the photos smaller to fit them all on, which is really nice.
Oh, this, yeah. Awesome. Wow. Awesome. I really loved the video with the molehills.
Yes.
Yeah. And seeing Freya's progress, so amazing. And little Chopin,
I know.
oh,
Our little
so good.
friends. Yeah, I love that. It's not the greatest picture screen grab that I did, but that was Chopin doing his zoomies with his plastic bottle on
Yeah,
the
that was great.
bottom
That was
left, which was
great.
so sweet. If
Hi,
Nicole's
Theresa.
here.
Hello, Debbie. Hey, Kate. Great to see you all. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So quite a lot of you've posted in the group and shared your observations. I'm pretty sure a lot of you also just observed your dogs. So let us know in the comments now if you saw things that you've never seen before. Share a pineapple if you've seen something, if you noticed something, an observation that you hadn't seen before.
Your
I'm really.
fruit-based reactions are
Hi,
they just
Rachel.
make me chuckle.
The what will
Hello
be?
again, indeed. LJ, we'll let you
Oh,
off.
very late. Oh, welcome to the grandkids. Awesome. And here comes Edgy with the first pineapple. Excellent, excellent. We love the pineapples.
I'll tell you what, everybody that comes
Yay.
along to the live will know how to find a pineapple emoji from now on.
Yes.
I know, exactly,
Your
Anne.
pineapple
And
system.
Teresa, yeah, exactly. Barbara and Evelyn pineapples.
I just love pineapple. It's really funny. Melons would have worked too, I guess.
They would, yeah.
Okay, cool. Everyone is seeing Marcy, so lots of new things. Brilliant, brilliant. Marcy,
Hey,
yeah,
Kay.
excellent. Hey, Kay.
So
You're just
Richard's
sharing
noticed stuff.
you're sharing
Brilliant.
Now I can't even say the word anymore.
I tell you what, Teresa, if you haven't learned anything about dog body language, at least you worked
The
out and learned
pineapple.
how to find a pineapple emoji. So life's good.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Awesome.
So we've
I'm
achieved
glad.
what we set out to, and that people are noticing new things, which is
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. And that's exactly what we wanted to achieve.
Mm.
Wasn't it really? Is just
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
you
yeah.
looking and
Yeah.
noticing things that you weren't noticing before. So,
Oh, Katrina says in other people's videos, and it's so, so good to watch those
yes.
because I know, Katrina, you're actually a super good example because you know your Freya really well, and
Yes.
you really made a point of studying hounds, greyhounds, right? You're
Mhm.
becoming quite the expert, actually. So, but the thing is, the more we see other dogs, then we start to see subtle changes, also in our dogs. I've learned just the last 3 days, I've seen new stuff, and it's been so valuable also for me to see the videos, when we watch together the videos of my own dogs. That's been really
Mhm.
educational because I video a lot, but well, I'm not always so diligent with the repeated reviews. Mm.
Mm.
And every time you look at it, you see something new, so it's really, really important to check our data, right? Because that's
Exactly.
what we've got. And what is that phrase? You cannot change what you don't see,
Yeah.
right? And we cannot help our dogs go from the yellow, the amber back into green, or prevent them from getting into the red if we don't see the signals. And the more the more of our dog's vocabulary, right, we pick up, the quicker we can get the message. So it's really valuable.
Precisely.
You see, there's some brilliant. Anne says it's good to see the pics and videos. Yeah, I agree.
Really is, isn't it?
And um uh and then not new, somebody says not new thing. Oh, Barrett, not new things, but learned how to think what happened beforehand. That's such an important
The
one.
context. Yeah. And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
individuality. That's the key thing.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Quite a few people agree with that, Barrett. And then Rachel says it makes me just more observant all round with all dogs. Definitely noticing more about my own dog.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, Katrina, great. Yeah, video is just so good. And Emma agree, videos really help, says Debbie. I'm just really bad at posting and commenting on them in a timely
That's
manner.
fine. We'll let you off.
Yeah, totally. And LG is getting into, she's noticing nuances. Brilliant, really
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah, this is wonderful. Really love that. I just want to open my door so my dogs can come in.
Aha.
I closed the door when we had the music.
Ah, right, because we were
No.
dancing, of course, yes. And then we forgot there were dogs.
Oh, I can hear the puppies. Sounds like she might be being a bit wild in her ex-bed. Husband is there, sister-in-law's there. She is in good hands.
Brilliant.
Woo, goody. Okay, shall we
Right,
then?
onwards and upwards. So what are we doing today? So today we are having a little look at rudeness. So we talked yesterday about distance increasing and distance decreasing behaviors. And it's important that we start to understand the difference between, well, it's not really, there's an overlap between those distance decreasing behaviors and when they kind of go into the rude category. So we're going to be having a good look at that. We're also going to be having a look at, well, how we can use dog body language. So how we can actually speak to our dogs using their own language, and how that can help with our training and our relationship and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
And that's my Dashi with his tongue out.
So
So
sweet.
rude.
Cool. And hang on, where's my screen now? I saw Emily. What's that? Emily says, one of my challenges is that I see Sophie's response to, for example, a dog coming toward us on our lane, but I don't find an easy solution. We have to turn and go the other way.
Absolutely.
And Sophie goes from green to red in like 3 seconds. Yeah, I totally get that, Emily. And we have something for you a little bit later into the talk. But and then Liz, oh Liz, this is lovely advice. Liz says, I do that, Emily, but in turning away, you are finding a solution. And that is very true, right? Initially,
Absolutely.
we
Very
just have
wise
to,
words there. Mm.
yeah, I love that too. Yeah. So it's first of all, preventing our dogs from getting going over threshold, preventing the exposure to the triggers is always the first step. So that is good that you're doing that in the first place.
Mm.
And then, going forward kind of depends on your dog, right? There is no one fits all approach for these things. There are different options. We'll talk a bit about that later, so stick with us.
Absolutely. Okie dokie. So, shall we have a start off with rude behaviors? So, these behaviors that you can see here are all great examples of um, rudeness from our dogs, and they're often these are the sorts of behaviors you see when you hear that person go, "Oh, don't worry, he's only being friendly." It's that misinterpretation of the behavior as just being friendly.
Mm.
So, how rude? Just to have a quick scan through. I'm going to talk a little bit around them, but how rude is your dog? So, as I talk through them, put a watermelon in the comments if your dog does any of these. And if your dog gets annoyed by these behaviors, put a pear in the comments. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the first one's direct frontal approach, and we did touch on this actually. Most dogs approach on an arc, so that direct frontal approach, unless it's done by a really, really familiar dog, and that's another part of the context story that we've got here, is generally considered to be rude. Now, unfortunately, we put leashes on our dogs and we walk on pavements, so we get those direct frontal approaches quite a lot, and that can be quite problematic because it's rude. Um, Staring. So for our herders, our collies, that can be a bit of an issue. Invading personal space without permission. Pulling towards the other dog on a tight leash, even if it's done because the dog's excited or feeling friendly and just wants to say hello, still rude. Some of the others I think are quite, so when we talk about a muzzle poke, it's just that kind of booping them kind of thing when they're not actually playing. And the chest butts again, it's kind of using their weight to push them around. The deep butt sniff. So we can also look at it as being a rectal exam. So polite behavior, the way that's because obviously sniffing butts is part of that communication chain that all dogs have. But polite behavior is doing it from a few inches away. We're talking here that nose right up that bottom.
Mm.
Which is pretty darn rude. Right, I need to just have a quick look at the where we're up
Yeah.
to in terms of the
Rectal exam. Yeah.
reactions.
So I don't want to interrupt you.
No,
But
no, no. Carry on, carry on.
so
Yeah, both.
first of all, we had Lorraine was saying had a question about staring, and there were quite a few comments right now about staring, and both the dog doing it or the dog finding it uncomfortable. And very often people wonder, well, is this staring? The eyes don't actually look so hard, right? And I've noticed with my two, so because they're herders, and the one is very sensitive to the other one looking at him, and that one stares. So it looks differently at different times. So it can be a really intense border collie stare, right? Like all the sheep have to run now, kind of a stare. But even if he's just looking at the other dog, that dog, now I finds that um um uncomfortable was the word I was looking for. And a little while ago, I was still thinking that it's simply because of the history and our being so sensitive, and Falk is really just looking in this direction. Or somebody like Lorraine, you were saying, is it maybe just curiosity that the dog is looking? But here's the thing. We saw, remember when we looked at the distance decreasing and distance increasing behaviors, and all the time there was like a looking away. Some people might call easement behaviors when the dog tries to communicate, I'm not a threat. Part of that is just looking away. Or the video of Noah with the puppy, and he looked everywhere except for towards the puppy because he didn't want to encourage the puppy, right? So, but also not intimidate. He just stood, not interested in playing, and the puppy respected that. But if the dog, keeps looking and doesn't look away, then it's a stare. It doesn't matter how hard, right? And many dogs find that unpleasant, will react to it, because it is especially for herders, but it is part of the prey sequence. You look first before you bite and dissect
Exactly.
and all those
Yeah.
other things, and chase it down and first you look. So it is actually part of that. And if that look is uninterrupted,
Mm.
it'll make the other dog
And as
uncomfortable.
Emily said, Sophie, her dog, who's a dwarf German Shepherd, so we've got another sort of herdy type dog, stares shortly before she lunges and barks. And that's again, that's kind of that's part of the linked into that arousal behavior as well, isn't it? It's that freeze. It's I'm about to explode, and that's when the staring happens, and that's why another dog that gets stared at is thinking, actually, that's rude.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I mean, again, as we always said, we have to look at the things always in context. So two dogs say playing with each other, right? When they play, they go through fighting behaviors, right? Ritualized, they do the same behaviors that they would do in a fight. They just play. So they will look at each other. You see the dog in a play by staring at the other dog, and they will do these things. So that is not rude in that context, but we have to, or the chin or paw over a shoulder, right? To see what the other dog, how is he going to react, right? Are we going to play? So it's not that any of the behaviors are loaded per se necessarily, but how it's happening, what the context is, whether the dogs know each other, etc., etc., etc.
and we've got some people observing that in the comments. So Alison's Tess seems offended by unfamiliar dogs staring at her, but she does it to dogs she knows, and then they find it rude and too intense. And that's a really great point. And Rachel, her dog is very rude. Can't let him. I mean, you're just the best dog owner though, because you're like, I know my dog's rude. So actually, I'm going to protect these other dogs from feeling that kind of stress that
Yeah.
they might get from it. Um, so that's really great that you know that. Really
And
cool.
the thing is, I mean, Julia and I actually had a conversation about, are we going to even use the word rude? Remember? And I mean, I always, what's the word when you give in, but a nicer word? Um, I mean, you're the native English speaker. I am not. I was just thinking, I mean, the dogs aren't rude in the sense that they do what they do,
Mm. They
they might
do.
just not
Yeah.
have. So here's the thing. My you all have seen Stevie tried to get solicit play from Noah in those videos, and she tries so hard, right? But he told her twice that, not in those videos, you didn't see that, but he really unmistakably, I'm not interested. So she's very respectful, and I mean, I'm sure if I let it go on for a long time, but I don't do that, obviously. So she's not getting into his space. She's just trying really carefully. Now, one of her litter mates, her owner says herself is quite a bully, same age. And that is because she lives with a dog that has quite a rough play style, right? So you can't really blame the puppy. The puppy just does what they've learned. And all our dogs, there is a history of, what they learned. This is how I behave. So rude. Yesterday we talked all about value judgments and to avoid them, and now we're talking
I
about
know,
rude
now we're
behavior.
talking about rudeness.
But in the end, the thing is, we know that these kind of behaviors can either trigger our own dogs, or our dogs, when they do this, trigger another dog. And the quickest way to refer to that is to just call them rude behaviors, right? But we don't go and beat ourselves up or punish them for doing them, because that's not how they learn to do things differently, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, Katrina has asked, she's certain Fro would exhibit more rude behaviours if she was off lead. How do we teach our dogs to be polite? And it's something that actually I find really fascinating. And one of the reasons I wanted to use rude behaviours is because of my dog Hattie. Now, Hattie is a right little character. She's an old lady now, and she was originally a dog that was on the streets. And when you have a dog who has grown up, I mean, she was 4.5 when I got her, so she's grown into adulthood, interacting in a much more natural way with other dogs than they do in the home. So, and she is a stickler for good manners, good doggy manners. She has excellent manners herself, and she does not take to dogs being rude kindly. So there's evidently something about that kind of how we shoehorn our dogs into our human world. That means that they are not necessarily interacting in a way or learning to interact in a way that they would do naturally. So things like, I'm going to say it, socialization, but appropriate socialization, not chucking them in front of each other, but having dogs that will be able to disengage from each other and focus on us and all those kind of other things is going to be massively important. But the other thing is, if you look at, if we go back to day one and day two, actually, if you're really aware of what those arousal type behaviors and what you're seeing with the arousal, then you can avoid the rude behaviors. So it's all about managing that arousal level, because the rude behaviors tend to happen with a dog that's over aroused. That's my thought. And again, we can come on to how we can help you do that in a little bit, in a few minutes.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it depends, right?
It
It
really does.
depends
Yeah,
on
it's so
what you
individual.
do to help when we try to change our dog's behaviors, what strategy we utilize depends a lot on the dog, and also the context of when the behavior is exhibited, right?
Exactly that. Exactly that.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to go through some more because there are many
Yeah.
rude behaviours. Many, many. So this is a photo of two dogs. And what would be great is if you could just put into the comments what you are looking at. So what is that showing you, that picture?
Remember, observations first.
Observation. Thank you,
Don't jump to
Barbara.
interpretation.
Just catching up. There's a lot of comments that I've missed. Yeah. So yeah, we've got an adult golden retriever, and we've got a young puppy. So
Mhm.
what's happening, and what can you see in terms of body language? What observations can you make? We've got staring by the puppy, definitely. Soft eyes from the golden. Not so sure about that one, actually. I can't see quite well enough. Um, so
Mhm.
Lynette said, looks like the puppy wants to take the ball away from the lab or from the golden, and which is an interpretation. So we're looking at what we see, and we're deciding what we think the dog is, what their motivation is. So we need to be looking at what actually can we see. Um,
But noticing, so that was good, noticing that the
really, yes.
golden has a bowl, and
Absolutely. And
that is part
that's
of
got
the
to be key.
context for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, Debbie's noticed that the golden's brows are furled.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
What about have a look at the golden's mouth? Can you see anything with a golden's mouth? That might give us any indications. I mean, it's tricky when it's not your dog. So you don't know what the normal mouth looks like.
Mm.
But, if you do know goldens, Emily said, body puppy is pulled out. So Anne says the mouth looks like it's about to growl. So we've got some, the lips have been shortened. What's it called? The commissures or whatever it is.
Mm.
So with a golden, quite often you have that quite floppy lips at the back there. And those have come right forwards, which is showing that you're being a bit rude there, Mr. Puppy.
LG is our resident golden expert, and she
Yes, that's a
showed
very good point. Yeah,
golden's mouth
good.
is mostly closed with tight commissures, and
Good
he's
stuff.
holding a ball, right? So he's actually holding the ball a little bit weirdly if you think about it.
Yeah,
Normally, what does a dog look like? Ball in mouth,
not
mouth wide open, right?
that. He's going. "Hmm,
So, and the thing, Wendy, and I love that Wendy posted the golden's mouth is relaxed, and goldens aren't so easy to read. I'm sure LG can attest to this because they're not showing um strong, I call it negative emotions easily, right? They look, they tend to look really friendly even when they get agitated, when the arousal gets up or they're worried about something.
yeah.
Uh, and they have a reputation to be really friendly dogs, and rightly so. But they're not as easy to read as some of the other breeds because they just tend to look friendly, relaxed. And you really have to know what you're looking at
They've
to
been
pick.
bred, haven't they, for generations to just look at
Yeah,
the
to
normal.
be
Okay,
really friendly. Yeah.
let's have a little look at this one. So we're looking at this one. We're looking at the black dog, and we are looking at the golden in the foreground. Now, one thing to say with the golden in the foreground, it looks like it's got a really short tail, but that's not its tail. So you know, so you can see. So what do we think is the difference in the body language between the black dog and the golden? What are the differences between their body languages?
Yeah, or just describe, if you
We'll
just
just
describe the
describe,
observations,
yeah,
see the difference.
observations only. So,
Remember the framework temp. Look at the tail, the ears, the eyes. Ears and eyes are a bit difficult here,
they are quite
but you can
different.
see
You
the
can see some ears on the
direction.
golden,
Yeah,
but
the
not
ears. You
so
can
much on
see
the
the
black one.
ears. The eyes are difficult. Yeah.
Mm.
So Lorraine says both dogs are stiff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true. Both look stiff.
Good, Emma.
Ears are
Golden's ears are
back. Yep,
back.
Emma.
Perfect. Does the black have the hackles up? Tail is
Mhm.
erect. I don't know if that's just a shoulder. I'm not sure. It could
It
do.
could
Yeah,
definitely
could
be.
be.
Yeah.
Definitely. No reason why not.
I love this one here. Alison
Yes.
says black dog leaning forward, golden almost leaning back
Perfect.
way.
Brilliant.
Golden's
Mouth looks
body
tight.
pulled backwards, ears pulled back. Yep. Black head down, ears back, tail erect, mouth closed. Well, goody, goody. Yep.
You guys are getting good at this.
Mm. Liz,
I love it.
golden seems the dominant dog, head arching over the black dog, waiting to see what the other will do. So, Liz, there's a lot of interpretation in those statements. Look at, and I'm not saying that they're wrong or right.
We don't
Look
know.
at what makes you say that. So the golden's head is higher, that's true. But it's also, what we can say is that the dog is leaning back a little. You look at the weight shift,
So you've got that
right?
weight shift backwards rather than forwards.
And the ears are also
Yeah.
pointing backwards, right? Whereas the Katrina says black lab forward standing and tail up, golden leaning back a little bit.
Maxine,
Golden's
I don't
retracting.
think that it's got the lead in its mouth. It's not something I considered, but now I've looked at it, I see exactly what you mean. But
Yeah, it's a person's shadow, I
I
think.
think it's just the shadow. Yeah. I see
Yeah, there's a
exactly where you're
person.
coming from on that one.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Ah, Katrina, good
Some,
one. So the golden's tail is tucked under. That's why we can't see it because we know that
yeah,
it's down, or else we'd
yeah,
see it.
yeah. And also, if you look at the black dogs, the lab, if he's a lab,
It's labby, maybe a bit
if you
ruffy.
look at the line from the tip of the tail through the spine towards the nose, you know, this is not something we've talked about, but you get a bit of you get like a directional thing, and almost like an arrow pointing to it. It has to do with the posture of standing forward and everything. He's like, you know,
You can see the back line on both those dogs is very different, can't you?
yeah, 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 yeah. And it's
There are lots of could be lots of reasons for that, but that's certainly an
Hmm.
observation.
But now who's polite and who's rude in this picture? Katrina, you are very welcome to describe what you see about the dog at the back. But I would like you to take a guess. I know this is just a snapshot, but if you just look at those two behaviors, and if we were to say who's potentially rude and who's potentially not rude, what would you say?
Okay, you're so right. Being able to observe without judgment. It's almost like a freedom, isn't it? You're just sort of doing, what am I actually looking at rather than having to try and interpret it. I totally agree with you there. Black dog rude, black dog rude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seems to
I'd
be
agree.
unanimous by the posters. So, I mean, look, I asked that question just after who was it? Kay was saying that it's so good to observe without judgment. And that was why we had that conversation. Rudeness is I mean, it is a judgment. But just if you just take it as a category of behaviors that can cause a negative reaction in the other dog, right? Let's use rudeness like this. So it's kind of clear that the black dog is moving into the golden space, and the golden is moving, his stance is backward. He's trying to get away. He's clearly not liking this, right?
Absolutely.
In this snapshot, the whole dynamic could change in an instant.
Okay, so here are some other um, rude behaviors, um, which you can kind of see. So
Okay, hang on a moment. Just go back to the,
you want to go back to the one before?
yeah, because two people made a point. Maxine said the black is invading space, but looks to be going for other dog in background. And Vera says, not sure about the rudeness of the black, After all, he's approaching from the side, not front, and seems not to be staring directly. So I would call this frontal,
I
not
think I
from the
would too.
side. I
Yeah.
mean, it's, he is standing a little sideways, but look at the
Kind of a
front
little bit off,
paws.
but yeah,
Yeah. But he is
I
bent.
get
And
where you're coming from.
again, this is a snapshot, right? This is just in that moment. As I said, if this was a video and we see the interaction there, it could be a moment later, everything changes. Somebody steps to the side, the dogs go around in a circle and everything is hanky-dory.
It's
So,
lovely how much detail that we're starting to see, though, when we're starting to
mm,
consider. So we're having
exactly.
these conversations. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Shall I move
Yeah.
on?
So, yeah, you can.
Okay.
And Barrett is making a point here. She's asking, when we had a black dog, does other dogs having trouble reading black dogs?
Yes. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
harder to read black dogs' faces, and
Definitely
it's
harder.
short-faced breeds as well, much more difficult to read
Mm-hmm.
them. So yeah, we've got just
Okay.
some more. You can just have a little look and read that for yourselves, I'm absolutely sure. Um, I haven't got masses to say about this, I don't think.
Well,
So
I
when we
love
talk,
the first line, persistent unwanted behavior.
yes,
So, earlier on we were saying none of the things just sort of by themselves are necessarily bad. It's
yeah,
when the dog, because it's a conversation, right? We all say things in a conversation and somebody says, hang on a minute, and he's like, well, that's not what I meant, right?
exactly.
And equally, dogs do a thing and then the other dog's like, whoa, that was a bit intense. And then, we have shake-offs and we get calming. So, the dog might give a lip lick and try to look less um what's the word, intimidating, and all these behaviors. It's a back and forth, right? But if one of them keeps saying keeps, I'm trying to be as neutral as possible. If the one dog keeps
Shall I
do
give you an
a
example for the
behavior,
persistent unwanted behavior? Is when
no,
Hattie is trying to get Dash to play, she will just sort of nip
not,
at his ankles. And
yeah, and he
she
doesn't like
doesn't,
that.
he will then go out, he'll walk away and she'll go after him and carry on doing it.
Exactly. There we
That's
go. So
rude.
exactly. So what I was trying to say was, if the dog is exhibiting or displaying space increasing behaviors, trying to, that isn't always moving away, but doing all these things that we had listed on day one, I think it was, and then, or day two, and then the other dog keeps doing the opposite, increase,
Yeah.
less space, right? And keeps doing
Yeah.
that, but one dog is saying no. And that is kind of the heading here, and that puts everything in context, I
It's like
think.
that prod
Yeah.
until you get a reaction. Yeah. The splitting behaviors, got a photo there. So you've got these two dogs were playing and that one just barges right on through. So that's what we mean by that one. Okay, and then some more.
Okay, hang on a second.
Did you want me to go back?
No, not necessarily. It's just like Katrina had a
Oh,
question.
great.
And Maxine had a question. There's one dog that always licks Chico's mouth, but he tolerates it. They have known each other since pups. No other
Yes,
dog can get that close to him. You see,
exactly.
very different. And
Exactly.
then, however, tolerates, maybe doesn't love it. So have a look whether, not saying that is, you know your dog best, but you might want to, next time, you might want to watch Chico really closely, and maybe you can see some of the more subtle signs, right? That he's actually saying, no. Like the people in the elevator, right? Somebody standing really close and we go like and
Yeah.
look away and whatnot. Anyway, Katrina's question is this where the two dogs hugging comes in? I saw this once before with two lurchers. One dog initiated it and the other had to fend him off. So hugging as such is not a behavior I'm familiar with. I've used the term, however, now I does it with people, it's a jumping up behavior. And what I could imagine now, Katrina, and Julia will chime in and correct me if I'm off track here, is that it's either the putting paws on the other dog part, or similar to the humping behavior when it's like an arousal thing, right? So either way, it could, and then, sometimes when they put paws up, it can be quite grabby. So the humping is definitely a grabby behavior, right? So it could be like a bit of a combo here, and it would depend on context and the dogs where it comes from. But when you call it hugging, it's probably rather in the front part of the body than the back part. So I think it would be one of those two.
I think so too.
Or
Where we had
combo.
at the start about putting the paws on the other dog, like you say. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Bit of rudeness. Alison's Tess keeps puppy yapping in two dogs' ears. They just want to play with the ball. So that's, yeah, again, it's that unwanted behavior,
Mm.
that kind of thing. So yeah. Now these ones, I find they're not able to self-handicap to at least a degree of the other dog's strength when you've got a big dog and a little dog playing.
Yeah.
Bowling over the little dog can be kind of rude, not to mention uncomfortable. So yeah, that's one of those. And what can happen? The problem with these rude behaviors is it can create misunderstanding.
Mm.
Because if you have, let me give you an example again with Miss Hattie, who, other than when she's biting Dash's ankles, doesn't tolerate rude behavior. So what she does, if a dog will come up into her space, she'll do a few kind of, distance increasing type of turning away. They keep it. She will swear at them. Her language is terrible. And actually, that's appropriate because
Mm.
what they're doing is being really rude. And she is saying, actually, your behavior isn't acceptable. I've asked you nicely. Now you need to back off. And sometimes we misinterpret that as being aggressive behavior. And it's not aggressive behavior. It's actually just a response to the rudeness to try and say that behavior is making me feel uncomfortable. So it's
Mm.
just one, if you've got a dog that's reactive, it's just one to be aware of with the context again, like we keep saying, was it actually your dog that was being reactive, or is your dog just correcting another dog who's being rude? Um, so yeah, definitely want to watch. Right, where were we? Rude behaviors 3. So many. Okay, so that's enough about rudeness. We're going to really quickly go through some things that we can do to use dog body language. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
these are things like these are some distance increasing behaviors. So dogs and humans, we're both social animals, and a lot of the behaviors that we use can look quite similar. Some of them look really, really different, but there's a lot of similarities there. So, for example, if someone gets right in your face, you might turn away. But it was the same as a dog would do, or step away. So these are the sort of things that we can do that will say to our dogs, actually try to increase some difference. Distance. I need to put my teeth back in again. So for example, when what was I going to say? I can't remember. Um, so yeah, it's about sort of adding that distance, and but it's you helping the dog add distance between themselves and a potential trigger. So moving away. Who was it that said in the comments that that's what they were doing and that's how they were dealing with the situation? And
Mm-hmm.
actually, what you're doing is you're using what the dog would do naturally, and you're assisting them to do that to provide support to your dog, blocking something that the dog's scared of. So actually, where you placing your body to try and help your dog if there's something that they're worried about. things like, so say you've got a dog that is really jumpy uppy and in your face, using that, turning their head away a little bit, that can sometimes give them the signal, actually, this isn't appropriate right now. I might stop. It's worth giving that a go, and seeing how that goes. Yes, Barbara.
Yeah, you know how the advice when dogs jump up on people,
Yeah.
what is the general advice that's usually given to stop them from doing that? Quickly, guys, put it in the chat. What's the number one advice that goes wrong? I mean, you know, kind, among kind dog trainers. Dogs are jumping up on people. Anyone volunteer?
Ignore it, turn away, fold
Yeah,
arms,
kneeing is not so kind. Turn away.
turn away is the one that you hear a
Yeah,
lot, isn't it?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Step away, turn away, turn away. So turn away is what I was after. I know that lots of people say need a dog, and
I
we
wouldn't
don't
do that.
do that. Yeah.
No.
So turn away, or ignore them. But here's the thing. If the dog initially approaches, they're really happy, they're jumping to greet because they want to get close to our face, and we then turn away and don't turn back again looking for
Mhm.
something that we can reward, right? Like the dog getting back on the floor, we create frustration because now the dog will jump up to get attention from us,
But it's
right? So
quite
if
punishing as well for a dog, isn't it?
yeah, so I'm not saying
Mm.
don't turn away, but you turn away once to stop that behavior, and then you very quickly, especially if you have an agile, quick, fast moving dog like my border collies, then you've got to turn back and you've got to get in there and reward them for that split second that the feet are on the ground. Otherwise, they don't know what it is that we're after, right? And then we
Exactly.
have to make a note for next time and be prepared and have stuff so we can instantly put things on the floor. Whatever method you want to go with dogs. I've tried various with Noah. And that will work for your specific dog. But what I was trying to express here was that the how did we get to the turning back on dog? So we can teach them I don't like this by turning away, but then we have to make sure that if we timing is important. If we do it for too
Mm.
long, we might be sending the wrong message. And then
Exactly. And
would
looking for the thing that you can reward at that point. So it's not that you hate them. It's just that that behavior wasn't appropriate.
yeah.
Yeah. Okie
Yeah.
dokie. And then we've got distance decreasing behaviors. So what behaviors can we do to say to our dogs, you can come towards me? And I'm sure there's some of those that you've probably used yourselves. I know that it's the sort of things that we do. So with softening eyes, just be really careful though, because it can end up looking a little bit like a squint, which is a bit weird. Um, Play bow, you don't actually have to get down on all fours, but you could just stretch your arms out. That can be quite a good one. The squeaky high-pitched voice that dogs like, that kind of thing. And the crouching, the making yourself small, sitting down. These are all things that are saying to the dog, yes, you can come a little bit closer. And then what about displacement and arousal? So we can use the displacement behavior by putting an object in the dog's mouth if we think that's going to help them. Inviting a dog to sniff, again, that's another thing that might help them. So these are things that they can use to help impact their arousal, so lower it a little bit. What can we do as well? Well, we can use deep breathing. We can do a sigh. I quite like a sigh actually, to say to our dogs, do you know what? We're really chill here.
Mm.
Relaxing your body and thinking about how you hold your jaw and your neck. Um, Now, I think we all know, don't we, that how we feel, that our dogs, if we're on a walk, our dogs can feel it down the leash. They pick up on how we're feeling really, really. They're so in tune with us. They're amazing like that. So thinking about how you're actually holding your body,
Mm.
um, the same way that we know that when a dog has got high arousal, their body's much stiffer. It happens to us as well. So can we soften our bodies? Um, there was a piece of advice that we were given that you imagine that your armpits are made of gold and then you melt them. And it's a really good way of just getting your jaw, your shoulders, and everything just to relax. And I can imagine you're all sitting at home now, melting your armpits, but just be aware of what that feeling is. I find I remember actually, I think I said this on a live actually. Um, was I was out for a walk with Dash, and we were going through this really narrow sort of foresty bit that was really difficult for him because there was a lot of dogs. So I knew it was going to be challenging for him. And I just looked down at him as we walked, said, "Come on, Dash, melt your armpits." And I was more talking to myself, but I was relaxed. We got through, no incidents, absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely fabulous. Um,
Another arousal related displacement behavior, if you like, is tagging. I mean, I know that's the opposite of what you were just talking about, because now
yes,
bringing arousal up. But Susan Garrett talks about this a lot. I've never until now had a dog that would tug in a stressful situation, but Stevie really loves tugging, and is easily encouraged to tug just after something that she found stressful. So because I mean, she's 16 weeks now, so we did, all the early socialization stuff, or even, first time in a place and there's other people and there's dogs over there. So I can tug with her. And what I've just noticed is how much easier it is for her. Look, some of this is individual, obviously, it all ties in together, but because the physiology changes and she's having fun with the tug, she gets over things much faster than the dogs that I had to work with food in those situations.
yeah,
So sometimes bringing the arousal up helps them when they're feeling a little woo about something. And with Nawa's cooperative care, for example, doing fun things, high-pitched voice, getting him to do fun tricks in between, or scratching his chest a little bit if I want him to be more calmer, for things. All these things help them, help him not to be too worried about, whatever's happening right now.
exactly. So Lorraine, the splitting, that's about where you're placing yourself. So if your dog is, their arousal's increasing because of something or other over there, putting yourself in between the dog and the thing, that can really help.
Mm. Yeah, being aware of where we are and using our body in relation to where the dog is and what the dog is seeing is super, super helpful.
Exactly. Helping them out. Okay. So we've talked about quite a lot over the last 3 days so far. We've still got a little bit to go. So what would you say is the biggest, loudest message that has come through to you from the last 3 days? If you can pop that in the comments. Sorry if we've missed some of your
You can
comments.
throw in a pineapple if you like.
Well, I don't think pineapples are great, is the message we're looking for.
Watermelon for Julia.
Context from Barrett. Observe, observe, observe. Separating observation from interpretation. Things are not always as they seem.
Love it. Love it. Bring it
Trying to
on.
be
More.
objective.
Mm-hmm.
Observe your dog carefully. Brilliant. Pay more attention to my dog. Wow, there's loads coming through. Oh, they've got a banana come
Yeah,
through.
100. Oh my goodness. If you hate me, put a banana.
Context,
Context.
context.
Really
Maxine's
observe your dog
transferred it to a
carefully.
human situation at work. Brilliant. Yeah,
Observation is key. Observe my dog more. Observation versus interpretation. Trying to explain. Dogs are telling us much more than we ever realize. Yep. The importance of observing. Observation. Brilliant. You guys are fabulous.
you are fabulous.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Be present and mindful. Context. Yeah. Yeah. Super.
And it is quite
Be
complex,
more
isn't it?
dog.
Be more dog. Yes, wouldn't it be great?
Yeah, that's a lot of behaviors I've thought was dominant and rude in my dog is probably him being uncertain. And when he barks at a dog, he's not being aggressive, but telling them to move away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
distance increasing,
absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And
And
I mean, a lot of this, the reason why the observations are so important and us listening closely to the dogs is because they're all different, right?
mm,
They're all so different. I mean, when Julia and I discuss our dogs, you're Hattie and you're Dash. They're so different from my dog.
massively different.
And when we had, talked about it yesterday and the day before quite a bit, didn't we? And
Mm.
everybody was putting different things down. Um, you know,
And the other
the
thing, when we're looking at the context, so we're looking at the pause bit,
mm,
those different things, how that changes, impact different dogs in very different ways. And what they will be telling us will look very different.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's the key.
And because of this, the question is now with this newfound knowledge and realization, what do you want to do with this now? Because, realizing that our dogs are individuals and their emotional landscapes are quite complex, right?
Mm,
So they express themselves in different ways. And that means that a lot of the information that we are given, this is what you do in a particular situation, might not be appropriate. So you can now either go and try things out, right? Bits of advice that you get from other people, things that worked for their dog. But the thing is that it may just not work for your dog, right? Or it might only work partially.
mm,
Or you're not sure if you're making progress. So you try to implement something and you go with it for a bit and you're not quite sure if it's working or not, because quick fixes, I think we all know by now, there aren't any quick fixes, in the dog training world, really, that really work and bring lasting change. And in the worst case, you try something that worked for somebody else and it actually makes things worse for your dog. That can also happen, right?
mm.
Or you can decide to do something drastic and try something new and do something that really is tailored for your dog, right? And fix it once and for all.
Drastic and exciting.
And exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
And and so we would like to invite you guys, or extend an offer to you to join our reactivity reboot, our reactive dog training class, which is an online class. Julia, I haven't been following along here. Okay, cool. I'll see it now. Okay, cool.
I'm
Do you
on it.
wanna do you wanna talk about it a little bit, or do you want me to? If you guys are game, it's just a few minutes. We
Yeah.
want
So
to tell you a little bit
the
about it.
reboot it's like our flagship. It encompasses everything that we're about. And it's been massively successful. And Katrina, I think you've been one of our lovely
Mm,
rebooters. It's absolutely fabulous. It brings that training to a totally another level. So, and one of the things that really sets it apart is that we know that you need support with your dog. If
yeah,
you've got a reactive dog, it feels pretty rubbish quite a lot of the time. You
yeah.
feel pretty inadequate, embarrassed, all those horrible, horrible negative things. So it's really important that you get support, as well as getting great solutions for your dog. Um, and that's what makes this course really stand out and really different. Um, it's a holistic approach. It looks at things from every single angle,
Yeah.
and it's making sure that you're going to get the results that you need for your dog, and you're going to get the support that you need, to make
And
it
it's
feel a
fun.
bit more manageable.
And it's really fun too.
It is totally fun, totally
Katrina, did
fun.
you see Katrina put in a comment in? She says she's not a stooge. She highly recommends it. I love it. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah, we didn't even
Katrina.
ask her to say
Sorry.
that.
I funny.
So what we it's there's the sort of the basis of it is kind of an online program, but that's not all
Mhm.
that is. Which you get lifetime access to that. So because just if you're anything like me, you've slept and you might have forgotten something, you're going to go back and say, right, I need to
Yes.
remember what that said. Um, so, but this is the key bit, really, I think, which is the 8 live Zoom classes. So it's the cornerstone. These Zooms, it creates our community of support because the other people that are on the course with you are absolutely crucial um, to making sure that excuse me, you've got your cheerleaders, you've got your trainers in your pocket, which is us, and it's going to make getting those results so much easier. So what we do is we deep dive into the things that are on the online course. We have lovely small group discussions, there's Q&As, we work through your personalized goals for you and your dog, again, keeping
Mm.
that results focus, that personalized focus.
Mm.
Lots of troubleshooting and just generally lots of blooming loveliness. Um, so here's a little screenshot from one of our lovely Zooms with our lovely people having an absolute blast. Are you on there, Katrina? No, you're not. I can't see you. That was from our last cohort, who are absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous. Um, but this is about, if you buy something off the shelf and you're kind of like, I don't quite get that bit, or this isn't quite working for me, or, my dog is X, I need to tweak it a little bit. And this is how we do that to make sure that you get that. So that you do get those results and you're not just trying to do what's worked for somebody else. We're
Mm.
trying to work out what's going to work for you.
And
So,
when if I might chime in, I mean, a lot of programs really focus on the training part, and of course,
mm,
training is important, right? Like obedience training, like the sit. Somebody put in the comments, teach the dog to sit so they don't jump up. Absolutely. But the crucial bit when it comes to overreaction is the emotions, the dog's emotions. And the thing is how we deal with that with each individual dog. That is often more complex than the training course, the parts, that look at the sort of obedience parts of it. Let you think. And this is really what we break down for you. That's what is really different, right? Really figuring out why your dog is doing the things and what you can do to help them feel differently.
and how we can help you to help them as well. That's something that really it comes back out in our feedback is that support for the human end of the lead, really, isn't it? So here we go. So yeah, there's an exclusive Facebook group. So not this big group is a separate group, just with the people on the course on it. There's
Mm.
a couple of people that have been on a previous course in there as well, which is great. You get loads. I mean, this is just all the things you get. You get workbooks, you get lots of written
Mm.
information as well as the online stuff. You can post as many videos and things on your training for feedback as you want. So all of that is available to you anytime that you need it.
Yeah.
So the normal
Yeah.
price for this is $1,300, which is 1,025 GB pounds. But, and there's a big but, for you guys, because you've been absolutely lovely and gorgeous and brilliant, we're going to give you half price. So that would be 650 US dollars. So we're just offering it to people who have been on this 3-day challenge, this Learn to Speak Dog
Yeah.
challenge, and these are the people that we're giving this offer to. And the other thing that we're going to give you, a little bonus, is we're going to give you a couple of little mini courses. So there's a reliable recall one. There's the Reclaiming Your Walks course. Actually, it's called Walks Without Worry now, isn't it? And
Mm.
we're going to do, because one of the things that we do during the reboot is we do like train alongs on Zoom. So we're all training our dogs together. Too much fun. We'll do a little extra one of those as well.
Yeah.
So, oh, that's the homework. So, if that sounds fabulous, you can just go and sign up. Have you got the link to put in the comments at
I
all?
do. Let me pop that in the
That would
comments.
be amazing. And to get the 50% discount, you use the code reboot50.
Yeah. You'll get an email about
You will get
it.
emails. You can
Yeah,
also email us with any questions that you've got about it.
we're happy
We're,
to answer.
or you could just ask things in the comments now if you want to know any more about it. Um, if you want to have a little bit more of it, or you can send us a message on Messenger. If you want to have a little bit of a kind of a chat about anything that you're not sure of, more than happy to do that.
Mm.
So
So
we
we
are,
have a few questions.
all do we?
I know we want to go to the homework and I don't want to keep everybody. So Sue was asking what time of day, as it is 2 a.m. in Perth at the moment.
I'm so proud of you, Sue, for coming along here at 2 a.m. in
Amazing.
Perth.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Well,
Um, well, yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be
it's going
middle
to
of
be a
the night.
similar time
Yeah.
to this.
Um, and
Um,
mm,
just because of where the majority of people are going to be coming from, the Northern Hemisphere. So yeah, I know that was not
yeah,
great
it
for
doesn't
you
work.
in Perth.
Yeah.
Having said that, all the Zooms
The,
are recorded and you can catch up on them with them later. And because we've got the special Facebook group, if you've got questions that come up for the Zoom that weren't covered, you can ask them in there. So it does actually work quite well that way as well. And you've got all the resources that you can access anytime. Um,
so Maxine is asking, when is it? She was interested last time, but it didn't fit. It's going to be Tuesday nights.
Tuesday night, starting sort of the beginning of November-ish. We'll have a few weeks, couple of weeks off for Christmas or for the holiday season, to make it a little
Yeah.
bit easier. Um, oh, that's one thing we haven't said actually. In terms of the payment, we do have an offer payment plan as well.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to pay
So,
all in one go, we can spread the cost for you
yeah. So
to
you
make that
just
a
let
little bit
us
easier.
know. Either hop on the sign up page or drop us an email if you have more questions or
Yeah.
ask them now. But I think we should get on with our
Homework.
homework
Plan
for now.
A,
We'll
so
be
you know,
around.
Maxine, is to start the first session, the first Zoom session, 5th of November. So that's plan A if things don't go wrong between now and then. So, homework, 2 parts. How rude is your dog? So, in the group, look for rude behaviors by and towards your dog. What are you noticing? And also you can look at, well, what's the reaction from the other dog that is being rude to? So those are going to be ones that are going to be more difficult to probably, if you can video them or photograph them, amazing. But if you can't, you can just use your observation skills to describe them, which would be cool. And part B is try using some of your dog's language, and just share with us what happened. What was your dog's response? So yeah, thinking about what Barbara said about turning your back and making sure that you're not like excluding the poor little social creatures that they are.
Yeah. Try a yawn. Try a sigh.
Yeah.
Melting you up.
Melt your
Yeah.
armpits.
One of the lessons in the reboot actually is about breathing,
Yes.
and if you pay attention to your dog's rate, or is that how you say it? Breathing rate?
Yeah, breathing rate.
Yeah. And your own, how you find your dog will mirror, your rhythm. So there's a couple of interesting exercises around that in there that were quite yeah, it's just
It's
fun.
a bit
It's
of
all
fun.
about this. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and can be very, very helpful depending on
Mm.
what it is that you need for your dog. Yeah. Cool.
Definitely.
So that's the homework. And if you have any more questions, we'll stick around for a bit. Um, if you want to know more about the reboot. And other than that, we'll look forward to your shares.
Absolutely. I just need to get back onto the commenty bit.
It's gone quiet in the chat, and I'm not seeing any pineapples.
Somebody share a pineapple with Barbara, please.
I have to recover from the banana.
She'll have pineapple withdrawal.
My dogs absolutely love bananas.
Do they? Mine can't,
Mm.
mine no interest whatsoever.
No.
Bananas, blueberries, anything like that, they actually could not.
Thank you, Alison. Thank you so
Yay! Thanks, Alex.
much. Awesome. Lots
Oh,
of pineapples.
Debbie.
Thank you, guys. It's awesome. Cheers me up seeing all those
It does.
pineapples.
It makes us all super happy. Do you know what? We've had an absolute blast over the last 3 days.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys, for
You've
joining
been
us for
so
this.
good. You've just been absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
Thanks, Catherine. It's good to know. Awesome, Anne. Thank you.
I'm just going to stop the share.
Awesome, Maxine. Yeah, let us know. Would be
I
great.
mean, do you know, yeah,
Yeah,
that
no,
would be
that's
brilliant, Maxine. We'd love to have you there.
yeah, totally.
It's
Thank
always
you, Monica. I really appreciate the pineapples. Cool. You're super welcome, Teresa. Let me send you some. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, I'm gonna have to look. I want to send you some hearts for the people. Oh, done. We have
what?
a giveaway.
The competition. Oh my goodness me.
Yeah,
And we've lost some
blimey. Okay,
people.
guys. Okay, here's what we
Right.
can do quickly. If you still
Focus.
have the time, because you stuck it out with us until the end, we still give away. We have a Amazon voucher to give away.
It's a 30
So
pounder
if you
today. It's
could
a
do
good one.
us a huge favor and share our sign up page. Let me post the link for you right here. Right? Just
If you've
share
done it, you
that.
can do it again.
I
That's
can do it
fine.
again. Yeah, can do it again. So share the sign up page for our reboot. Oh, or was it? Oh, whichever.
Yeah.
Share this. It's
Yeah.
cool. Cool. And that would be great. And then
And
tell
then
us.
just write in the comments that that's what you've done, and I will enter you in the draw.
Oh, thanks for the Avo, Vera.
Oh, yes. And we've got a bunch of grapes from Rachel as well.
Thank you. Okay, Theresa.
Teresa's sharing.
Awesome.
Super.
Thank you so much,
You're
Theresa.
in. If no one else does.
Going once, going twice.
It's looking good. Come on, I'm waiting. Who else is sharing for us?
I will. I'll put it on my personal.
Should I put you in the competition?
No.
Oh, Berit, I'm so glad you've enjoyed it, and we'd love to have you with us for the next one. You don't know how to, just copy the link that Barbara's put above in the chat and then put it on your own Facebook, just on your normal timeline. So we've got Alison and Wendy have shared. And Rachel is doing her Anne, well done. Proud of you. Do you know what? It works though. We've had more people been signing up over the last couple of days because of your sharing. So it's getting the word out there and getting more and more people to really start understanding their dogs a little bit better. So it's brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I'm just going to wait a second because I want to see if Rachel and Alex have managed it. Oh yes, Debbie. Katrina thinks she shared. Love this. Monica. Yay. Oh dear, funny. Perfect. Debbie shared already anyway. So, Rachel, Alex, have you managed it? Oh, that's just annoying. I'm just gonna, so it just says report comment. Yeah, you don't want that really, do you? What you could do is you could click on the link, or maybe if you right click on it. Yes, that's what I would do. Right click on the link and then go down to where it says copy link address and use that. That's what I would do. I think that works. I had a lovely chat with Alex on my messenger the other day. Actually, Barbara, I meant to tell you.
Oh,
I know, she's a trainer
Alex.
in Dorset.
Ah, around the corner from you.
Well, not exactly round the corner, about 4 hours drive.
Well, for Namibian, that is around
Actually,
the
yes,
corner.
nothing for you, is it?
Mm.
Yeah, nothing for you.
Right.
Brilliant. So,
Thank you so much, Wendy. She says she really enjoyed it.
yeah, we've loved it
Oh,
too.
Debbie.
You're
Thank you.
lovely. Oh, Rachel. I'm going to put Rachel in anyway, just for effort.
Okay.
Because I
Now,
feel really bad otherwise. Okay.
spin your wheel, Julia.
Spin
Spin
my
your wheel.
wheel. Hang on a second, just double check. So we've got 8 people.
Oh, awesome, Debbie.
So let's see. The winner is. Da, 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 da,
Trina's
da.
confirming. She checked on her phone and she has shared it. Wonderful. Thanks,
Anne!
Trina.
Anne is the winner! Yay,
Woohoo! And
Anne! Woo!
congratulations!
So what we need
Yoo-hoo!
you to do is drop us an email. I'll just bob the email address into
Got
the
me?
chat so that you have it. If you're there, that would be great. Just drop us an email. Oh, Alex did it as well. You're an absolute diamond. So yeah, drop us a quick email, say I am a winner, and I'll get that voucher out to you as soon as I get the email, really. Unless you do it
All
tonight, in
right.
which case it'll be
All right
tomorrow.
then. Fabulous.
Brilliant. I know. Oh, this has been so much fun. I really hope that some of you, this is absolutely genuine, will join us for the reboot just because you are just the best people to have and would be fantastic on that sort of course. So it would just, because it's the people that make it, isn't it?
Did you send the email? Not the email, but
No,
the.
I didn't.
Okay, let me do it
Let,
quickly. Okay.
I'm glad that someone's not just getting overexcited. Kate, it's been a pleasure. And that's my fault. We'll sort that for you now.
I better not make any typos because it's the most complicated email
I
in
know.
the universe. But it's cool. Contact at biking-up-the-right-tree.com. Here you go.
I won. You've got it twice now, Anne.
Did you do it?
Brilliant.
I don't see yours. Oh, okay, yeah.
Someone.
All right, cool.
So what we'll do, we'll see you in the group. Keep posting stuff in the group about
Yeah,
your dog's
don't
body
neglect,
language.
we want to see your shares, your
Keep
home
going.
pages.
Let's
Yeah.
keep this momentum going. It'd be really, really cool. So yes, we'll see you there very
Thanks for
soon.
joining us tonight
Thank you.
and have fun with your dogs.
See you guys.
Hearts for you because you're fabulous.